Hey everyone, Josh here from Teach Yourself Websites. Today I'm going to show you how to optimize WordPress for search engines. Now technically WordPress is actually one of the better platforms to use it's search engine friendly already, but there's a few things you can do to make it even better, and I'm going to show you two plugins today that can help you do that automatically. So the first one I want to focus on is called All-in-One SEO Pack. This is probably my favorite one because it kind of stays out of the way a little bit and just lets you do what you do when you're blogging. It's really easy just to install. It's just a regular WordPress plugin. It helps you optimize all your meta tags and titles for pages. And overall just helps make WordPress a lot more finely tuned for search engines. Okay, the second plugin I want to show you is called Wordpress Seo, which is by a fellow named Yoast. He's a well-known WordPress developer, so he's had a lot of experience in this SEO stuff. His plugin is a little bit more involved. It tends to take a more holistic approach to the whole thing and gives you a lot of options. So if you're into customizing and tweaking little things, this is probably the plugin to use. Alright, so I guess we'll start off with All-in-One SEO, and to install that you just go down to plugins in your WordPress dashboard, click on Add New, and do a search for All-in-One SEO Pack. So it'll show up as the first one there. If we install that and activate. First up, when you install this plugin, you'll get a little message here saying that it must be configured and enabled. So it gives you a link to go to the admin page here, or you can come down to settings and then go to All-in-One SEO here. Okay, so this is the configuration page for All-in-One SEO. What it asks you to do is enable the actual plugin. So I'm just going to click on that. So when I save it, it'll actually enable the plugin, and away we go. You have to give the site a title. So this will be the title for your home page, and the title is actually what shows up in the title bar up the top here. And it's also what gets pulled out for displaying on Google search engine results. So you want it to be really relevant. I'm just going to put in a random title here for now. The second part is the home description. The home description is what we call the meta description, and that is sometimes pulled out as the bit of text that sits underneath the search engine result. It doesn't always get used because Google likes to judge what is relevant for that page for themselves, but it's always good to put in a little something here just to let people know a little bit more about the site and what they can expect to find on your site. So I'll just fill that in. So I've got my description in. The next part is to fill in the keywords, and some people don't like to actually put this in here because it kind of gives people a clue about what kind of keywords you're targeting with your site. I don't know whether there's any truth to that, whether people actually do go and check their competition that much, but if you're wary about it, if you're focusing on SEO, you can leave that out. Otherwise, you just put in words that you think people will use to find your website. So I might put programming, entrepreneurship. Help if I could spell. Small business, that kind of stuff. So originally keywords were used to give search engines a clue about what the site was about, but they don't really use this anymore. So it's more for descriptions and stuff like that for other sites crawling yours. Canonical URLs, we just leave that checked. Rewriting the titles means to for the title that you put onto your pages and your posts, it will help you rewrite them if possible. These formats down here give your site a basic look as to what the title tag, which we remember is the thing that shows up in the heading here when you wave over your mouse, and what also could possibly show up in the search engines as the title. So by default, I think it's actually pretty good. They've got the post title, then a little horizontal bar, and then the blog title. So I always leave it just as default, and that's absolutely fine. Google has said that you can use a horizontal bar, or you can even use like a dash if you really want to. So all that stuff I tend to just leave as it needs to be there, and the rest of it is all little tweaks and stuff like that you can do, but you really won't need to do a lot of that. All-in-One SEO is one of those plugins that's it's pretty well configured by default. So once you've got your home title, you've got your description in there and keywords if you want them, there's not a whole lot you need to do after that, apart from click on update. So that's it, that's done now. Let's have a look at the front end of the site, and I'll just press refresh here. Remember what this looks like here. So now that we have refreshed, it now shows the new title that I've put on there. Okay, so the second plugin I wanted to show you is WordPress SEO. To install this, just go to your plugins, type in WordPress SEO, and install that plugin and activate. Okay, so now this plugin is activated, it prompts you whether you want to allow tracking to help the plugin developer improve it by gathering some usage statistics. Personally, I just turn that off. And then it asks you to go through a tour, which you can go through just by clicking on the next button here. It'll take you through all the different settings and stuff. I recommend if you're new to doing SEO work on WordPress, then you click on next and go through that tour, and it'll give you a rundown of all the features. So click on close if you don't want to do that. Now that this plugin is installed, it'll take care of a lot of the stuff out of the box as well. What you can configure is things like the title and meta information. You can tell it to use certain things, rewrite titles and stuff like that. As I said before, there's a lot of options in this plugin, so it's something that you should probably go through with a fine-tooth comb and just go through and check if you need to use these particular options. In this help section here, there's a big list of different variables you can use. So if you wanted to put all the different things into your title bar or anything like that, which is the most important key for SEO, you can do so. There's also a few other sections here which I'll show you. You can link things in with Facebook for Facebook Open Graph. Same for Twitter. You can use Twitter card metadata. Sitemaps is another interesting section. Because I've already got the other sitemaps plugin, XML sitemaps, installed, I'm going to uncheck this. But you can have WordPress SEO generate your XML sitemap also, which can be good to consolidate basically two plugins into one. I'll add a link to the show notes to show you the other XML sitemap generator. Permalinks is another section. Permalinks will lets you change the structure of the URLs. I'll also add a link to the video introducing permalinks if you're not familiar with those. You can do things like strip out the category base, which can be handy if you're setting up a really complicated looking URL. You can do redirects and stuff like that, so there's lots of different options there. One of the main things that I want to show you is if you go to pages and then all pages, and we choose one of the pages to have a look at, I'll just click on my home page. It adds this new section underneath the edit box for SEO, which will give you a preview about what this is going to look like in Google. So you can do things like put in your focus keyword. So if I really wanted to, I could narrow down what this particular page is about, which is good for landing pages and that kind of thing. I'm not too worried about that. This SEO title section is one of the other main parts. So like in all-in-one SEO, where we changed the homepage title in the settings area, for this plugin you actually change it on the individual page. So I might actually put my title here. So now that I've got my title there, I can also put in my meta description as well. Which is optional. If it's empty, it'll the plugin will generate something based on the text on the page. So I'll just leave that there for now. And once that's done, to edit it, you actually have to click on update. So if I go back to the front of the site, you'll now see the title on this one has changed. Okay, so that's how you install a WordPress, an SEO plugin for WordPress and optimize it for the search engines. There's literally dozens of plugins out there that you can use for WordPress SEO. These are just two of the main ones, so you might want to have a bit of a play around and experiment with some of the others. But yeah, if you use one of these two, either all-in-one SEO pack or WordPress SEO, then you can't go too far wrong.